So there have been people recently asking me why I don't play in High Elo in League of Legends anymore, despite me peaking Challenger this year. And I think this game that I played um, to demonstrate a coaching session for one of my clients really highlights why I don't really play this game past Diamond anymore. So this is probably the last High Elo, and I say that with emphasis because this account that we're looking at is currently sitting in Platinum 1, but I haven't finished my promos yet. This account had really good MMR last season, or at least relatively decent MMR. As you can see, it ended in Diamond 2. And if we look at the stats, I ended around Diamond 221 LP, so it wasn't even high Diamond 2. Yet I am playing in Diamond 1, and there's even a Master Tier player in this game. So it's roughly high elo in NA. And if we go and we look at our AD carry, we can see that this guy also peaked D1, so it's not like he's just some, sorry about that, some random individual, right? These players are somewhat competent in their role, and they have the ability to perform at that level, at least every single one of them. So let's get into the game. I want to show you what happened and just highlight why playing anything past D4 is just not really that fun. So something to note, I probably actually could have carried this game if I was 100%, but I haven't really played League, at least not super competitively in High Elo for I think 2 months now. So it's been a while. The person that we're going to be looking into this game is going to be the Camille. Notably, she has a very interesting interaction with my Rengar, where I think Rengar botches a play, and because of that botched play, the Camille just refuses to help us in the game, and it's a very winnable game if she just wants to play with us and help us out, but she just permatypes the whole game, like splits the whole game, and just makes it a really unenjoyable experience. So level 1, as we can see, the Rengar is about to base here, and we get invaded by Thresh. Notice how the Rengar is pathing inwards towards his red buff, and then here he runs into Thresh, and so he dodges the hook, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. I added this guy after the game, and we talked about it for a while. I don't think he's win trading, but this definitely looks very win trade-ish behavior. Normally when something goes like this and you dodge the hook, you just leave, right? Like it's wrong to stay because you assume that if Thresh is here, the entire enemy team is going to be around. But I don't think he was win trading. I think he was just trying to BM, and obviously he dies for it here. And because he doesn't have Flash, he has Ghost. So the Riven, who is Camille's lane opponent, starts the game out with an extra 400 gold advantage, right? Meaning she gets an extra pot plus a longsword, so she's going to have an extra 400 gold on the Camille. So fast forward, we're going to pay attention to the Camille. So obviously, it's rough on her because Riven has the ability now to take over the lane because, as we can see, she has an extra longsword. She did not opt to buy an extra health pot, but at the same time, she has that extra damage from the longsword. Here I am the Tryndamere, and I am moving up towards top lane because I want to block this. I do not want the Riven to be able to get a reset off on this wave. It would be really, really good for her. So I'm coming to block and hopefully maybe kill her because there's nothing for me to be doing mid. Ideally, I could also cheat a recall, but I know that my top laner is struggling. So I'm coming to alleviate some of the pressure and potentially force Riven off of this wave and maybe kill her. So I make a move top. I get the kill on the Riven. Everything is good. I pretty much help my Camille come back into the game. For the most part, he gets this wave for free. He needs to TP back once he finished clearing this. he needs to recall and then teleport back. So here I come back and we don't really miss anything, right? I'm trying to look for the play that the Rengar quote-unquote botched for the Camille. So notice here, you know, everything is nice and dandy. And I believe it is here where the Camille gets solo killed. And if I'm going to be honest, I really don't think that this play has anything to do with Rengar. I mean, sure, you can argue that she has a little bit more gold, but at the end of the day, I don't really feel like this is a position that you can really die in as Camille. Yeah. That's Rengar's fault, by the way. See that? This is NAD1. And that's Rengar's fault, right? Notice how Rengar is pathing on the top side of the map, and Lee Sin, we can very clearly see, is in the mid lane with me because I am trying to force him off of the crab, right? Assuming that Camille does not go for this play, Rengar can easily path up and break this freeze and push in the wave with Camille, right? And this would make it so that the Riven, who is super, super low, would not be able to deny Camille successfully, right? You can make the argument that Lee Sin could also path up to counter Rengar, but I will make the argument that I don't really think it's possible that Lee Sin can block this with Riven, just simply off of the fact that Riven is really, really low. Also, the Rengar has 2 longswords on Lee Sin plus the minion wave, so it's going to be very hard to block this because Rengar could potentially 2v1 them. You can argue that Riven has 2 pots here, but I still think that Rengar has the capability of getting this shove in. But regardless, that play was very, very unnecessary, and she starts really blaming the Rengar from here. I think this is the problem. Rengar comes up top here to try to finish off the Riven, and because of this, this is where things go wrong. Ooh, he missed that. Yeah. Unfortunate. Yeah. So this is where Camille goes mental boom, right? It's from this position onwards that she refuses to play the game, and she permanently... Notice how she isn't even going back to lane, right? She's making these really weird roams for no apparent reason, right? So it's like, okay, well, I have nothing to do top. I mean, but you can grab these minions, right? You can grab the remainder of this wave. You have a freeze here. If you were top lane here, you might actually be able to catch the Riven with the Rengar while he was fighting in the bush over here. But no, that's not the play that we're going to make. Instead, we're going to go to the bot lane for some reason and just try to ego the enemy team into like forcing plays, and then you show up to be there with a numbers advantage, obviously. But this is where things start getting really annoying. So here I obviously hit level 6. I'm looking to try to dive the Ziggs. You know, he cancels my dive, and I force him to have to TP back, right? So Camille dies solo again. I am planning on recalling here. I think I cancel this if I'm right. No, I do not. But I move back. We know Ziggs has no TP, and it's at this moment because I know that Ziggs has no teleport, right? I have my ghost coming up, and I obviously have boots, so I can catch him. My plan right now is to slow push in the wave using these minions to build up a big wave, and then I'm going to dive the Ziggs 100 to 0 under his tower and maybe take like 2 or 3 plates, right? Because he cannot reasonably TP back, nor can he block this dive because I have Ghost and Flash, and he only has Flash. I can reliably get onto him no matter what he does, unless I play it really poorly. And it's from this moment that Camille changes the entire game because she comes mid lane without saying anything, without pinging me, without asking, and she's just here because she can't lane top. And one of those major deaths was her fault. And she's just taking my lane now in NAD1. So why should I play with this? I don't know. But notice how she's trying to last hit my minions. Obviously, I take the cannon from her. And it's at this moment that I'm like, alright, fuck it, I've had enough. So I am forced to the top lane, and my entire play pattern here is now essentially gone. I am the one that's now forced to lane against the super ultra fed Riven because of the ego of this guy. Now, obviously, I could go over the entire game, but I think it's clear that we see what's going on here. I'm just going to review one last play that we made. It's definitely a play that I messed up myself, and I could have done better. But for intents and purposes, it just shows the nature behind the player base in NA, how we don't really try very hard to win. We would rather have the people that we don't like on our team lose than actually try hard and win ourselves, which is very awkward. I don't really, I obviously don't agree with that line of reasoning. But the play in question here is here at the Baron. Notice how I use my Farsight alteration, so we see the enemy all on Baron. The game is relatively even. I am like pretty much solo keeping the game afloat. Camille at this stage of the game has 2 major items on top of her boots, meaning that if you look comparatively to the Riven, who I ended up squashing when I went to top lane, she's actually probably ahead, and we can win this fight. Like, we have a good chance here. I am Tryndamere with a Yuumi on me, all of my abilities up, level 15, Ghost Flash, right? Flash Ghost. I have 3 levels on everybody on the enemy team. They are tanking the damage from the Baron. Camille is in a perfect position to flank over the wall here, or flank on the wall here, maybe over the wall here, however she wants to get in. So here we are going to contest, right? I ping that I'm coming in. Notice that my Camille does not want to go, right? Notice how she is intentionally avoiding the fight, how we are pinging her. Notice the 2 pings here. We are pinging her to help us. This is bad on me, and this is my fault. I don't, I'm not saying that this isn't my fault. I get caught here and I die. That is my mistake. However, this does not change the fact that Camille should have come. It's a very obvious play. Any high elo player would say that it's an obvious play. We win this fight 100% of the time. Nobody can stop me. We have an insane back line right here. Ezreal's doing fairly well himself. He's 4-4. He's doing okay. Rengar is coming off of Immortal Shield Bow, so he's got some items as well. It's not like he's, it's not like he's sprinting the game. Comparatively, in terms of gold, we are fairly even. Yes, I get caught here, and yes, I probably could have won us this fight if I played it better. But the point of the matter is that this guy is refusing to play the game. He doesn't want to help us because he knows that if he comes here, we will win the game. So what he's doing instead is he's intentionally trying to lose us the game, right? So after this, obviously they get Baron, and we see that once again Camille is refusing to help us here, as we see she is moving towards the bot side of the map and just farming. Notice how she also has her TP up. Once again, she's level 13 with comparative items to the Riven, yet she is refusing to help us. She's refusing to TP in. She's refusing to rotate to assist us in this play, even though obviously I will agree that this play probably isn't going to work. It is the Dragon Soul, yet she is refusing to do anything to help the team. But, yeah, that's about it. I think I got my point across. For anyone asking me why I don't play High Elo anymore, this is your answer. It's trash. People ruin the game way too often. There's a lot of win traders. There's a lot of boosted people. You might not think that it exists. You might give people the benefit of the doubt or whatever. But when you've seen it over and over and over again, you just can't help but suspect that something might be going on. There's a lot of money in our region. I don't think anyone denies that. And there was a video recently made by Dong Hwap talking about how where he interviewed a booster, a famous EUS booster by the name of Dopamine, who is a Rengar player, and Dopamine estimates that around 20% of the D1 plus player base in NA is boosted. And he's a guy that does hundreds of boost orders every single season, hundreds, if not thousands. And I estimate that roughly probably another 50% of those individuals have to some degree, maybe it's not 50%, maybe it's 30%, but somewhere in that line, a relatively large portion of the population have done some level of either account sharing or win trading. So, yeah, this server isn't legit. I refuse to believe that it's, I just feel like it's digressed a little bit too much. So, anyways, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Obviously, I'm not doing this to try to get the Camille banned or anything like that. It's just to highlight the fact that because League of Legends is inherently a team game, it can be ruined by a single individual's desire to ruin the game. I don't know if I showed any of the pings, but if we see, I believe here, this is when everybody on the team starts talking about the Camille and how she's flaming the team. If we can see the chat, the Camille is permanently pinging the Rengar obviously in a, angry sort of manner. Let's see if I can find some of it here. I do remember her doing this. Can we not see the chat?
Blue team's turret has been destroyed. Killing spree.
Huh. Well, anyways, you get the idea. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Thanks for watching.